everybody. Thank you so much for having me on, Lauren. Am I muted or I'm good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Hi guys, I'm Lauren Cassimatis, and I totally forgot about that, Lauren, that we went to that whole nother level event and you came with us, and it was great. You know, we have an amazing group here in St. Louis, but it's nice to be able to lock arms with sidelines and people that you don't work business with every day, but are there to support each other through the ups and downs in this business. So I'm going to tell you really quickly who I am, and then we're going to get into the meat of things. So when I came across this business over 5 years ago, I was an elementary school teacher. I was pregnant with my second son. Ali Antonacci is my enroller, and she was posting about this business on Facebook. I was intrigued. I could not stop watching. I was like, I knew her just through a wedding website. It's kind of like The Knot, but it was for St. Louis weddings. And so we planned our weddings together. We had babies around the same time. And I was like, that's a totally normal girl. And if she can be successful, then I can too. So I'm going to give this a shot. And so I literally was like, don't be mad at me if this doesn't work out. Don't be mad at me if I quit. But just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like, I was a teacher and I was like, if you tell me, I just want exactly like what to do, and just tell me, I'll follow what you tell me to do. And that's honestly what I did. I don't know, Lauren, do you just want me to like talk about the things like in those bullets, or do you want me to, are you going to like want to chat back and forth about it?
Yep. So I just
okay. So I went pretty,
and then we can like go through. I'll ask you each question that I sent you.
Okay. So then I got in there, I started working, I promoted through the ranks. I loved everything about this business. It was about 18 months in, I was presidential, and I thought, oh my gosh, like I'm making more money with It Works than I am with my teaching job. And so I think I'm going to do this full time. And it was crazy. It was insane. I had my master's degree to be a principal. I'd been teaching for 10 years. So it wasn't just like I had just started teaching. This was a passion of mine, and I thought I'd be doing it for the rest of my life. But I had 2 kids at the time. I was spending more time with other people's kids. You know, we hear Amy talk about that as teachers. And if any of you are teachers, you know how that goes. It was just so stressful. My husband and I were like passing each other and high-fiving at the door, like, my turn, your turn. It was just insane. And so I gave this a shot, jumped all in, left teaching behind, and thought education will always be there if I want to come back. And I have not regretted it for 1 second. I've loved having the freedom of time. And yeah, we became top earners of this business. I promoted to ambassador, I think about 2 years and 3 months into the business. And that's where my up and down journey began. I would say that it really was up for a long time. And then, you know, like, this is a sales job. This is a commission-based job. I started to, you know, hit a lot of road bumps and had to navigate my way through it. And I feel like that's where my journey really began, was once I hit ambassador, which is kind of crazy.
Okay, so I love that so much. I think so many people can relate to that. And like you said, it's like up, and it's like so fast. And then it's like, okay, then life happens. And like we said, it's a business, any business. I don't care what business you're in. If you're a business owner, you're going to have ups and downs and peaks and valleys. So you kind of talked about how long it took you to get to each rank. So, and then you said you found your first struggle, like when you hit ambassador, which was around, 2 years in the business. But what attributed to your business shifting, like, and what kind of like did you go through?
Yeah, so I will tell you, this bonus that is out on the table right now is super exciting because it hasn't been around in a while, but it was available when I joined. It was if you go diamond in your first 3 calendar months, but if you like joined after the first, it was actually 4 months. I went diamond in 4 months and I earned a $10,000 bonus. And so this is like, oh my gosh, this is what I joined with. And this is back right now for new distributors coming to the plate. So I want you to know that this is very doable. And I don't want you to think, a lot of people get overwhelmed and like kind of scared of like, oh, well, I didn't go diamond in 3 months, so I can't, or 4 months, I can't offer this to people. Guys, there are a lot of people that will go diamond in 3 to 4 months. It doesn't matter if you have or not. You have to know that people will, and it's super exciting. So you need to make sure that you're blasting it out to everyone. Because even if you've gone diamond or not, wouldn't you love some people to go diamond that you enroll in 3 or 4 months? You have to let them know that this is such an incredible promotion. So I went pretty quick through double and triple. It took me then a year to go pres, and then a year to go ambassador. No, it took me like 6 months to go pres, and then a year to go ambassador. Once I hit ambassador, I lost my ambassador rank, and I come out and I'm very like transparent about that. I think I had my ambassador rank for maybe 3 or 4 months, and things happened. Like, it wasn't like even life happened. I don't know why volume went down. It wasn't balanced out. I lost a rank, and that was the first time I'd ever lost a rank. And honestly, I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I've never lost a rank before. But at that point, I had been in the business long enough, 2.5 years, to know it's not just on me, right? I can't just bully myself because I lost rank. And now that I've been in the business for 5 years, I just realized this is part of it. This is part of the nature of this business. I didn't realize that because I had never lost rank, but now I see it fluctuates month to month. I'll be honest, I lost rank this past month, like from yesterday. I paid as presidential this month. I was paid ambassador last month. I've had months where I've paid as triple. But at the end of the day, I'm still working my business, doing my non-negotiables, building my business, and I've still been a top 100 earner for the last 4 years. Okay, so I don't want you to think just because you lose a rank that has to take you out, that has to get you so far down that you can't get it back. You can. I didn't have my ambassador rank, I think, for 2 years until I just got it back this year. And it's like, and then I lost it, but guess what? I'll probably get it back next month. I don't count myself out ever, and I don't define myself by a rank. I just keep doing my steps to success. I just keep doing what I need to do. And I know that in time, things change. Oh, I muted myself. Okay. Once I was like, okay with that, and I realized that that's the nature of the biz, I stopped being so hard on myself.
So I love the transparency, and that was like one of the reasons I connected with you so much when I first sat down with you, because I think like one of the first things I said to you was like, so I went presidential last month, and like I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna hit presidential again. And you were like, it's okay. Like I promise you, you're gonna hit it again. And like we kind of talked about that. And I think that people get so in their heads, and that's the first thing I talk to people about is like they lose a rank and they get so discouraged. And I'm like, I need you to like relax and take a deep breath and realize you joined this business for an extra 500 or an extra $1,000, and you're literally making X, Y, or Z. Like you've come so far, like this can't like give you a step back. And that's something that I've always just admired about you is like when I talk to you, like you would say like, just this is the phase you're in. Like this is where your business is at. It's fine. Like everything's going to be fine. And that's what I needed to hear so many times. And so I love when you like talk through your journey with this of like, it's okay. Like I lost the rank, I got it back. I lost last month, I get it back. Like the transparency is so refreshing because I feel like so many people are afraid to say those things, but that's what instills fear in people. And then you feel isolated when it happens to you.
For a long time, we didn't talk about it. Like back in the day, when you lost your bonus, it was gone forever. You couldn't get it back. So when I lost $150,000 because it was really ridiculous, that was a gut punch, right? And for my family, and it scared me. And I'm like, but it's a bonus. This was extra. This was a cherry on top. So I didn't lose my commissions. I didn't get taken out of the game. That was just part of my journey. And honestly, had I not been there, I couldn't have had the comeback that I had last year. Like you have to go through phases, and it's just all part of being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, and learning honestly about life and about yourself and growing through the whole process.
Yeah, I love that. So speaking of, you had a major comeback, like crazy comeback, like on fire. I mean, let's be real. You've been in the top 100 earners. So I think you're pretty much just like killing it in general, but you had like a major jump. So talk to me about like what shifted for you in your business to make that.
So I think my first year that I was in the top 100, I was like 75. And then my second year, I think I was like 47. I was like, woohoo, I'm going up. And then I got pregnant. I got in a funk. I got in a slump. I really honestly like took a lot of naps, did not do my non-negotiables, got in a place where I wasn't bitter. I'm not a bitter person, but I kind of got in like a pointing fingers. Like I would like, why did corporate do this promotion? They should have done it like this. Or I started like pointing fingers at my leaders of like, well, she wasn't doing a power hour. And it's like, I was taking a nap on the couch too, like I was expecting other people to do things I wasn't. And so as my checks went down, and of course, because that's what's going to happen when you take naps every day. Just a warning, everybody, don't do what I did. Now I have told my leaders that, and I've had some girls killing it during their pregnancies. And I'm like, yeah, because I took the fall on that one. But that next year at conference, I went from like 47 to 97. And I was like, ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm still top 100 earner, but guys, that was like cutting my income by a lot, right? And I had lost rank in there. And I literally, the second that the child came out of my body, was like, no, Lauren, it's go time. I know you have a newborn, but you have no excuses. Like, naps are over, sister. You're going to work. And what I did is I found myself being really inspired by Morgan McIntyre or Morgan Martin. Keto coffee had just come out. I'm like, I'm going to be a product of the product. I'm going to lose all this weight. This little teeny bopper can do it. I can do it too. And I watched all of her videos and I just started doing what she was doing. I'm like, okay, she's making her keto coffee. I'm going to make my keto coffee. And then on the next day, she's doing a boomerang where she's kissing it. I'm going to do that too. Like, I just started to do exactly what she did. And you guys, literally, it was like, people are coming to me. People are viewing my stories. People are interested in what I'm sharing. And it just snowballed. All of a sudden, it was like I was making $500 a month with keto coffee. Like, keto coffee and all of it changed everything for me. I lost my baby weight in 4 weeks. That's never happened. I had 9-pound baby boys, like all of them. They're huge. I gained weight and I've never lost it that fast. And I was like, oh my gosh, everything everyone's been telling me works. Be a product of the product. Be consistent. Stop taking naps every day. Do the things that I was preaching. And wow, the results came. And by the conference this past year, I went from 97 to 36. Like, that was insane to me. And I'm like, how did that happen? I lost ambassador. I lost presidential. I was getting paid as triple. And it was literally like, I shifted my mind. I said no excuses. I got my butt to work. And then look what happened. And guys, it happened so fast. I signed one girl who signed one girl. And then all of a sudden, I had opened my 2.0 account and it sat at Ruby for 2 years. It went emerald, diamond, double in back-to-back-to-back months. And I scooped up bonuses on all of them. It's like, it only happened because I signed two people that were meant to be in my business. But had I let my lost rank, had I let my drop checks, had I let pregnancy take me out of the game, I would have never gotten back to that point. So I just know now, like, this is part of the game. My number is going to go up and down. We just got numbers the other day. I'm back at like 59. Okay, not as good as 36, but I'm still fighting. I'm still working. I had a couple of months of May where I was like, I don't know what my funk was, but I was like, I didn't sign anybody. I didn't sign one distributor. And in June, I said, no, Lauren, that didn't feel good. Didn't feel good about my business. I didn't feel good about myself. And I was like, you can do better than that. So then this month I signed 7. It's just like, I go through these internal battles with myself, and you just have to be strong enough to talk yourself out of the pits that you get in, and to know that you are in charge of it and you're in charge of getting yourself out. Anytime you need to, you can do that.
Man, this is good. I'm loving this. Okay. So some of the things that you said, I love how you say, like, didn't feel good, so I'm doing something different this month. So I know that you primarily work your business on Instagram, right? So, yes. Which I love, because I feel like you're one of the older people, not older, but like, you are like, we're the same age, but you're, working Instagram. And I feel handicapped by Instagram. I'm like, well, I'm too old for Instagram. Like, I always tell myself that. I get customers, but like, can't talk to people on Instagram. So how do you work your business? When do you work your business? You have 3 kids, your husband's an entrepreneur. When do you work your business, and how do you like work your business into your daily life?
Yeah. That's awful.
You can kind of answer to like the second part of that question is like, how do you get distributors? Are you having people come to you? Do you message? Do you cold message, quote unquote, the whole term there? How are you working your business?
Yeah, what I'm doing now is totally different than what I did then, but we need to talk about what we're doing now because that's what's working and that's what I've had to evolve and change. Like I did not used to cold message, is what they called it. Like we were brought up in this generation that like cold messaging was bad and spammy. But now that I'm on Instagram, I'm like, it's their choice that they're following me. I'm not forcing them to do it. They don't have to. So if they're following me and they're watching my stories and they're liking my posts, they know what I do, so I can message them. That gives me free reign. And I feel totally comfortable messaging my followers, people that are viewing my stories, people that are voting on my polls. It kind of gives me free reign. So before, it was like people were just messaging strangers. I don't feel comfortable with that. But when I say strangers, like they still are strangers. They're on Instagram. I never met them, but they're following me. Okay. So yes, I 100% do message people. I am a granny on there, I guess. You know, I'm not 18 years old. I'm not wearing a bikini bod. I don't have a bikini bod. I'm not like posting the really cute outfits or anything like that. But there's a market out there for moms like me that are wanting to be healthier, that are wanting their kids to be healthier. And I just share. I mean, literally, I just do my stories. Guys, the non-negotiables on Instagram are you have to be adding to your network. You have to be posting in your stories. For me, I have to be doing polls. Some people are like, do swipe up. I honestly don't think the older generation understands the swipe up. So I just have them vote on the polls and I message. You just have to do that every single day, okay? My wall does not scream at work. She wouldn't even know I was doing it works if you didn't read the posts or watch my stories. Of course, I still post on Facebook. I don't know why I don't do exactly the same. I should do that. I have like a mental block there, but I'm learning. I'm constantly learning. I make sure that I'm not comparing myself to other people, but I'm definitely seeing what successful people are doing. So the top 10, I go check out their pages, their stories, see what they're doing. The little youngins, I'm watching what they're doing because they know what's up. So you know, as much as we want to say like you do you, like be you, be yourself. Of course, be yourself. But also don't get trapped in like and be stubborn to be like, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because if you're not doing what's working, you don't need to be doing that anymore, right? You need to be looking and trying some new things. And once you get in a groove and it starts to feel good and you start to get results, then you're like golden, right?
Yes. Okay, so do you work in power hour form? Do you work kind of like throughout the
No.
day? No.
Oh yeah, no, my life is a freaking hot mess. Literally said to my husband today, I'm like, I'm drowning because we have an 18-month-old who's not in like a daycare or a camp. I've got two big boys. They go to camp all the time. When they go to school, I'm like, yes. When I only had two and they were big and they were gone, I could work this business whenever I wanted. Now with a baby, I'm working in nap times. You know, you can work here and there. I can answer questions. Ideally, I would wake up early and do a power hour, but I gave myself an 18-month grace of sleeping when I can sleep. Now we're out of that, so I probably need to start working in power hours. I just work here and there, to be honest. And I work after. I'm a night owl. I like to work in the evenings, so
Okay.
that's when I'm working.
So when you say, I know one thing that we talked about is you go through and you're really good about watching who watches your videos every day and you'll message them, right? And say like, hey, I saw you viewed my story about coffee. Like, were you interested? Something along those lines. Are you still doing that now that you have such a large following?
I sometimes like when I can get into my groove, I will send out those messages for products. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the best way to grow your business and the best way to grow your volume is to get distributors and not customers. So I really honestly don't go for 10, 20, 30 customers a month. I know customers are important. They're the lifeblood of our business. Believe me, we need customers. But I go for 4 customers a month and I go for 10 distributors a month, right? I'm constantly talking about this business, my dreams, how it's changed my life, sharing other people's stories. If I see some girl made it into the Millionaires Club, her name's Chelsea. I've never met her in my whole darn life. But you better believe I posted, oh my gosh, my friend Chelsea made $1 million. We do the same thing. I love this hashtag best job ever. You know, people are like, what do you do? I don't even know the Chelsea girl, but I posted that she's my friend and she makes $1 million. This is true, guys. She did. Okay. So if you feel like you don't have your own success to share, you need to start sharing other people's. And I just do it all the time. So I go for distributors and customers come along the way because I love my keto coffee. I drink it every day. I share it every day. So I'll get my customers, but I really message people and always post and always do stories about the opportunity every day.
Love that. Okay, so I'm going to ask you one last technical question because I'm getting some text on the side. So what is when your go-to message on, I mean, like obviously you don't want to give your go-to because we don't want to get crazy on Instagram, but like, do you find that a lot of people on Instagram are not knowing what this business is?
No, I'm finding a lot of people do know what well, it's like a mix. I don't know. I feel like some people have never heard of it, and I'm always shocked. I'm like, what? You've never heard of it?
Me too.
But I have found a lot of people have heard of it, and they just don't really get it. And that's where I take the stance of I'm going to educate them on what it is, because they honestly just think it's somebody who's selling wraps. They've heard of the wraps, they've heard of the greens, and they really don't know any of the new products. So I make sure that they understand, oh my gosh, yeah, it used to totally be about the wraps, but now we have these new products. We're totally reinventing ourselves. And then I share about that. So yes, I am still, what were you saying, messaging people about that? Yeah.
So just wondering when you are messaging, if you're like, when you are sending messages to people about being the distributor, about the opportunity, are you finding, the question was, do you find that a lot of people don't know what it is and how do you explain it?
Gosh, there's like billions of people out there. And there's like, I forget the number of how many are on Instagram. There are tons of people that have never heard of it, you know, and with the global expansion, like it's just crazy. Sure, some people have heard about it, and those people that either have a positive or negative or just they've heard of it, but they don't really know what it is. That's where I go into educate mode. And if you always just think of it as you're teaching them about it, it's not going to be a personal, emotional attachment, whether they say yes or no. You're just teaching them about what it is.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, perfect. So, all right, we have two other people, so I'm going to shift gears. I could ask you questions all night, but we kind of got through all that. You know, like you kind of talked about, I had what's your sixth list and what do you do differently and all that, but you kind of touched on all that through your explanation. So thank you so much, Lauren. You have no idea, like, how much, you know,
And I'll stick around. My husband put my kids to sleep, so I'll answer some questions in the chat too while the other girls are talking.
Yes, you guys. So questions you have, put them in the chat for Lauren, and she can answer in the chat while the other girls are talking. I think some side messages that I'm getting are, please ask her what she's sending in a message. What is her go-to response?
Oh, wait, I'm going to tell you guys, like, my go-to follow-up message is like, what do you think? People always think I'm crazy. I'm like, so what do you think? I put, what do you think at the end of every single message. I'll tell you really fast. If someone's viewing my stories, I'm like, hey, I saw that you viewed my story on Skinny Coffee. Are you interested? Something like that. Or like, what do you think? Or I'll say, thanks for liking my post about making extra income from home. Have you ever thought about it? Like, I always end with a question. These are not like special messages. A lot of times it's just like, thanks for voting on my poll, because that's who I message the most, people that vote on the polls. Thanks for voting on my poll about making some extra income from home. Are you interested in hearing more about what I do? Question mark. And then if they like ignore me, I honestly, my follow-up is like, so what do you think? I just send that like copy and paste to 1 million people. And the messages, guys, you have to be messaging. That's going to be my final takeaway. I'm going to shut up because these girls have a lot of awesome stuff to say. You have to be messaging. Posting used to work back in the day. Like I would post and all these people would message me like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Now our job is to find those people that are interested, because they're out there. They're just scared to let you know, and they're still out there. So if you're doing your job of messaging, you will find these people. I promise you. Just don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I love that. Thank you so much, Lauren. You are the best. So thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, we are moving on to Amy Gamlin. My girl, where are you at? Can you unmute yourself? Because I can't find you. We're at 100 people. I didn't think I'd have to like upgrade, but we obviously did. Thank God we Zoomed. Okay, so Amy, introduce yourself and tell us your story.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Gamlin. I am also in St. Louis, Missouri. Lauren is actually my enroller. I have been in this business for 4 years. My background is in nursing. I was already a stay-at-home mom when I started, because when I was nursing and having kids, my husband owns a couple restaurants here in St. Louis. So his schedule and, all the nursing schedules was really, really crazy. So after we had our third child, I started staying home. We have 4 now. So my youngest was about 9 months old when I started the business. And, it was just kind of like one of those things. It was easier for me to stay home. But with that, I lost a lot of confidence and self-worth in myself. I've always grown up being an independent person. So, becoming a stay-at-home mom was always something that I wanted to do, but I just lost a little piece of myself. So I joined this business. We were doing fine financially. But I was feeling guilty going to Target and buying something for myself or buying something for the kids. So I wanted a little bit of money that I was bringing in so I didn't feel bad, using his, which was mine too, but so Lauren was posting about it. We met at a stroller boot camp class, and I actually worked with a nurse that sold It Works. And she actually came to my house and wrapped me. And I didn't know anything about the company. I didn't know, I'm sure there were a few other products at that time, because that was probably, I joined in 2015. So that was probably 2013, maybe. So anyway, she came to my house and wrapped me, never once mentioned anything about the business, anything that I can join. She sat here at my house for 45 minutes, wrapped me, got my money, left. So I knew that, and I knew she did it. I never knew I could join the opportunity. So I watched Lauren. She started posting about it. I had met her at a stroller boot camp, and I was like, okay, she's my friend. She was getting bonuses, which seemed like every single month. And so I was intrigued, and I'm a red personality. So the money drew me in, and I was like, oh my God, it's like she's getting $10,000 every month. So I asked her, I'm like, okay, she's my friend. She'll tell me the truth. So I was like, Lauren, are you really making this much money? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, I almost feel bad doing it because it's like the most fun thing ever. And it's really not that hard. And so long story short, I watched her for about another 6 months. We ended up chatting on New Year's Eve because I got strep throat. She was at home with her kids because her husband was shooting a wedding. And so we were both at home. We ended up talking. I gave her all my information. She held it to the January 2nd, she put me in, and bonuses were announced. So I kind of followed along her journey. I went diamond in 3 months. I went double in 5, triple in 13. And then I went presidential in February, which was actually exactly 3 years from when I went triple. So I kind of went along the same path. I mean, I think we accumulated over $100,000 in bonuses that first year, not counting the presidential. But it's been amazing. And, I've been able to stay home, with my kids without having to go back to work. I still have my nursing license, but it's been great.
I love that. Okay. So obviously, like when we first met, we were both like triple, and we were like, oh, we're like so excited. And then we were loving life because we both went triple like so fast. And then I feel like we both have had like ups and downs in our business, like good stuff. But like, I'm so proud of you. You just became a top 150 income earner for the first time. And I love your story so much because I've just seen, like, I obviously get to spend a lot of time with you, relatively speaking, because we're both in St. Louis. But like and by the way, when she said Lauren turn roller, it's not me, Lauren, it's Lauren Cassimatis.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Lucky Lauren Cassimatis, not me. But anyway, so there's ups and downs in the business, and I like feel like I've seen you like through those times, and I've seen you change, and I've seen like the highs and the lows and the middles and the highs and the lows and the middles. So talk to me about like the first time that you kind of struggled with this business and kind of where you were at with it.
It's kind of interesting because like I said, so when I joined the business, we didn't really need the money financially. So it was all kind of just extra. So it wasn't, and that's kind of my biggest thing is that I never really had a why. And I, told people all the time, like my why was basically like, obviously to stay home with my kids, but it was more of a confidence thing. And I never felt like my why was strong enough. And I would always tell people like, I need something that's going to make me cry, that's going to really push me and really drive me to the next level, because triple diamond money is incredible. You know what I mean? So I never had something to push me to go further. So I feel like I kind of was complacent in the fact that I was happy with the money, why, it was fine. So I feel like I tried to write down, I went back through my compensation to kind of see where the dip and things were. And I will say that I did lose my triple. And I sat at double for a while, but looking back at the paychecks, like they were about the same. So when Lauren was talking about like the rank doesn't matter, but I will say when in my first couple years, it was a punch in the stomach. When I first lost that triple, because I did it so fast and I wasn't in the business for that long. Now when I look at it, I'm like, okay, I understand it. I'll be honest too. I lost my presidential yesterday. Okay. So I did not, but I'm not even worried about it. Like I wasn't even upset about it. Like I came to terms with it and I'm like, I'll probably have it back this month, just like she said. So it's one of those things that like it comes with growth and it comes with being in the business longer. But as I was going through my compensation, some of my double checks were higher than my triple, because it all comes down to cabs and there wasn't bonuses on most of them. So I think that's kind of where when my paycheck started dropping. And with that, we went through a little bit. My husband, like I said, owns restaurants. So with that fluctuation of business in the wintertime, people don't go out as much because they're saving for Christmas and, they're not as busy. So, we have to account for that throughout the year and kind of budget and stuff like that. So I think what happened to me 2 years ago in, I guess, 2017, my husband and I were going to buy a house in Clayton. And it was like my dream house. It was very expensive. And at that time, my paychecks were fine. And I was like, okay, as long as my paychecks will cover the mortgage, like it's good. It was kind of, it was meant to be that we didn't get that house. So long story short, a lot of stuff went through it that I'm not going to go into detail about, but we kind of got stuck in a really bad situation. And it became that in that moment when my paycheck started dropping, I'm like, thank God we didn't get this house because we would have been screwed. And so, and then the restaurants were kind of going in that winter season and the slow season and whatnot. And, there's months my husband doesn't pay himself and things like that. So that is the pivotal moment, which was probably this past November, which clicked in my head that I had to do something and I had to get my checks up to kind of compensate and make up for the difference. And it pushed me. And that was when I decided that I was going to go presidential because I needed to get my paychecks up, and it pushed me and it gave me that why to really, have something to work for. And then that's when everything shifted.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Like I saw that shift in you. Like I remember like we had a meeting, I don't remember, but it was in Illinois, and we went to Rachel Wiggum's afterwards, and like, I'll never forget. I'm like, so like, are you pushing for prez? And you're like, and you were like, things are going good or whatever. And you're like, and you're still like very present and active, but you're like always somebody who keeps it so real, which I love. You'll get a theme here, guys. The people that I like to talk to are people who like keep it very real. But then I saw you in, I want to say it was like October or November when we went to Helen's after that meeting in St. Louis, and you were like, and I'm going press, and then I got this leg and I got that leg and I'm doing this. And it was like this whole different renewed energy. And so like, we obviously talked that night, and I knew that it was like a lot about like your why, and like it had come down to that and everything. But like, what looked different for you? What did you do differently in your business to just bring it back? Like I always tell people, this business is a very personal decision. Nothing will change. Like you have every single tool, resource that you need right now to become an ambassador, but it is like that internal thing, right? So once you had that internal fire to just do it, what were you doing differently? How did your day look different? And how did everything look different for you?
I mean, honestly, it's mindset and it's self-development. And I will tell you, I remember hearing everybody at every conference, because I went to every conference since I've been in the business, saying, oh, mindset, you have to do personal development every single day. And I kept saying, like, I heard it over and over and over. And I'm like, yeah, but it was one of those things that was like, oh, I'm okay. Like, my mind's fine. Like, I didn't get it. And then I actually started doing it. And then I'm like, holy crap. Like, this is like, nobody can take me down right now. Like, I am so up here that it was so crazy. And so like, I started listening to Big Life Devotional with Pamela, who Alicia Gagg, I think it was, I don't know if it was whatever, the meeting in Sunset, the Helen Fitzgerald night. Yeah. It was that night that she said that. And I wrote it down and I downloaded it right then. And then I started listening to Pam Souter's podcast and Cammie's, like whenever I would fold clothes and stuff like, you know, I would be doing laundry or whatever. And I would just listen to it and whatever I can get my hands on, because I'm like, I might as well listen to something. I'm folding laundry, you know? So I started doing those things and I started to listen to things in the car. And that was what the difference was having that why strong enough to push me and then having my mind right. And, you know, staying away from the negativity and things like that. But I'll tell you, it was the mindset. And I'm such an idiot. Like, I've been hearing this for 4 years and I'm just doing it now. Like, that was what it was, you know, from day one.
It's so crazy that you say that, Amy, because like I just did a Zoom with my team like last week and I talked to them and I said, listen, some of you are staring at me through this computer screen and you're going to hear me say this for the millionth time. Do self-development, do something, read something. I will give you suggestions all day. And I know that you're going to ignore me and you're going to get off this Zoom and you're going to say, I don't need personal development. I don't need self-development, because I legitimately was you. And I did the same thing for 2 years. And then I finally was like in this place, like I have to do something. And I finally picked up a self-development and I was like, I'm an idiot. Why did I not do this sooner? And it was so similar to you. And I just know, like, I feel like so many people go through that because this is like the first job or career or something. Like, people talk about, you know, a lot of people that join this is the first time they're ever talking about dream boards or dreaming bigger or self-development and holding yourself accountable and having a mindset. Like, we're so used to being like wired of corporate America and you can't think for yourself. And it's not about like having an idea or a good mindset. It's about being compliant and doing what you're told to do, you know? So I love that you said that. And it's such a mindset thing. So, love that. So, okay. Talk to me about like, cause I know yours was like super fast. Like, I remember talking to you and you're like, yeah, I'm like double. And then you were like, and I'm 1,268 from, you know, presidential. And like, that was such a quick time frame. So how fast did you go from like being paid double to being like basically presidential or almost presidential?
Let me see. I think I wrote that down when exactly I went. 2017. Okay. So I got my triple back June of 2019. So I was double pretty much that whole year. So June, July, August, September, October. So I got my triple back maybe for like 4 months. And then I got it back. And then I decided in November, and then I hit in February. And I actually was super close. Like, I probably could have made it happen in January, but that's when we went to conference. And I was like, I don't want to be spending the last 3 days of the month of January, like, while we're at conference. Like, that would have been right when we were there. So it's like, I probably could have if I really crunched, but then I was like, no, I'm confident we'll do it next month. And then they changed the whole comp plan. And that's why at conference, I was like, I was going to get it on the old comp plan. So I'm like, oh, it's in the bag. Like, it was not even, It was so organic. It was crazy. Like, it happened on like the 27th, like with nothing.
Yeah.
But
so guys, I want to like put that into perspective. If you like didn't catch that timeline, like literally 1 year ago, she was a double diamond, paid as a double diamond, not a good mindset. And here we are 365 days later. She literally had a total mindset shift, worked her butt off, went triple or got her triple back, went presidential diamond, and is in the top 150 income earner for the first time in her whole like time. Like 1 year, 365 days, literally a 180. Like, can't even deal. Like, I just love how fast things can shift if you like put it, and people just don't understand. And that's the thing. I'm right there with everybody. I wanted everything yesterday. So I want people to realize like you can have it really quick if you're willing to put in the work. So that being said, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say too, like Lauren said, like how she just goes for 4 customers. That was me. Like I would always like double my distributor steps to success, but like customers, it was like, I usually get my 4, but that was not what I was strong at. So one thing that I will say, when Thermophyte X came out, I think in January, I don't remember my exact number, but in January, I think I signed like 30 customers, and then I was like 50 or 60 in February. And it all came down to host to post. And that was another thing. And like, I'm horrible right now. I did some this morning, but I was so consistent in January and February with like every day getting it out and like having the same thing. It was so, and I still, you guys will laugh at me, I still don't have my text replacement set up. So I'm like literally still like, you know, copy paste this and that. Like I'm like, Amy Spence laughs at me and like wants to shake me. She's like, your life will totally change. But it's the same thing like with the mindset. It's like, I hear it, but it's not, you know what I mean? But it's fine the way I'm doing it. I got a system. But post to post was the one thing that totally changed. And Lauren and I had a Zoom last night about just distributor enrollments. And I had 7 for this month as well, or June. And I went back just so I can show how I met these people and how I did it. Every single one of them, minus one was my brother. Every single one of them, the initial conversation came from a host to post. And it was somebody else hosted the post for me. These people commented. The initial conversation was about the coffee or Thermophyte X or whatever the product was. But because I friend requested them when they did the host to post, they continue to watch me, and it turned into a distributor. So all the distributors I signed last month initially came from a interest in a host to post. So that just shows like how host to post is so gold, and you have to do it, because not only were my customers insane for the last few months, but like all my distributors came from that, from growing my network that way.
So you're mainly Facebook, right?
Yeah. I mean, I sign people on Instagram, but I mean, I post the same thing. If I post, I mean, it's all exactly the same. It's just different people. You know, my posts, I copy the wording, I do the same picture.
Yeah.
You know.
But you're mainly signing people from Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you talk host to post, like I'm going to tell you, like host to post was, and this is my question. So host to post was awesome for me for like a long time. And now I feel like.
Lauren, I think you're covering your speaker a little bit. You're muffled.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Is better? Okay. Can you hear me now?
It's just quiet.
Is it quiet for everybody else?
A little bit.
What the heck? Where's my speaker? Maybe some fuzz flew in it. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It
still sounds like something's over it.
Does anyone know where your speaker is on a MacBook Air?
In the upper right? Like that.
I don't know. Okay, hold on. I'm going to spin this around. It's like a Nintendo game. Okay. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just have to work with this. Sorry. All right. So, it's been crickets for me for host to post. So talk to me about what you're putting on host to post. Like, do you do a giveaway? Do you just inbox people and ask them to host it for you? And then what are your specific posts that you put up for host to post? Like, what do you have in post for you?
So this, like what I did today was just, can you do me a favor? I'm going for a big promotion. Would you copy and paste something on your wall? That was what I did. And pretty much that's what I did last month, because I don't think we didn't do a giveaway for June. In May, we gave away $100. Before that, it was like the Thermophyte and the Mocha Dream package and like an Amazon gift card. So it's different every month. And I actually have a really good idea of what I want to do for this month. I just got to figure out how to word it. I want to have people do that quiz, and that's how they're going to get an entry. And I just need to figure out how to get it, because I feel like that might draw people. Like if they take the quiz that just came out, like that's how they get an entry. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I just got to figure out how to word the post. And I don't know if that link, I haven't tried to post that link on Facebook, so I don't know if it works, or it'll just be like, text me and I'll send it to you or whatever. But I think that might be what I do if we don't do a team giveaway. But I was doing strictly Thermofite X, but I'll be honest, a lot of my people haven't really been getting results. So now I'm a little bit afraid to do the Thermofite X. So I'm going back to cleanse, or I do keto coffee. So, you know, the cleanse one, Amy sent me her wording today, and it was like, I could read it exactly to you if you want. Like the coffee one, sometimes I'll do, does anybody drink coffee and want to lose 2 to 10 pounds or want to lose weight, something like that. So this one says, question, if you could chug down a little 4-ounce drink before breakfast and dinner, 2 days in a row, lose 2 to 10 pounds of toxic sludge, debloat, and combat fatigue all at once, would you be willing to try it? My friend Amy is looking for 10 product testers for the cleanse. Comment below if you're interested. If not, tag a friend. And I'll put that in the chat as well. But yeah, usually I do Thermofite X, coffee, or cleanse.
I love that. And I'm happy that you are not happy, but I feel like a lot of people are getting kind of the same feedback around the TFX. And I mean, not that no one's getting results, because I definitely have people who are, but it's usually when they're pairing it with like Keto Energy or Confianza, or like doing it with the coffee. I mean, Melissa Yardley, gosh, she looks insane, you know, and like that's what she attributes it to. So there's definitely people getting results from it, but like I like the cleanse and the keto coffee and all that too. So that's good.
Right.
And I love that you talked about, like, some people are like, how do you grow your network? And again, it's like so different than when we first started. Like, you know, I think when you and I both first started, it was like, you just go through your friends list and start adding people. And now everybody in every MLM has caught on to this. So people are feeling like, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I get so many friend requests a day and it's all MLM. And I'm not like offended and I don't care. But it's just that I think people are like more, you know, hesitant to add if you are building your business strictly on Facebook or mainly on Facebook. So Host to Post has been huge for growing my network too, but it takes a lot of work. Host to Post is a lot of work, and people will say that all the time, but I'm like, okay, well, do you want a good paycheck or do you want the paycheck you're getting right now? Because like it doesn't just happen.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So, when do you work your business? You got all these kids, 4 kids. So if you guys don't know, this hot little chick here has 4 kids. And she also showed her 6-pack on Facebook today, and I wanted to punch her in the face. It's fine. But she has 4 kids. So when do you work your business? You are one of the busiest people I know, for real. Like, you have a very, you know, other successful businesses. You have 4 kids. When do you work your business?
And 2 puppies now.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And actually, I'll tell you what, those 2 puppies are getting my algorithm all kinds of like really good interaction, like a lot.
I did it for the gram.
Yeah, it's been great. And then also though too, those puppies have been getting me up earlier. And so now I'm like being more intentional about, especially on Instagram, and like adding to my network. I honestly, just like Lauren, am a hot mess. I work the business whenever I can. Little bits here and there, you know, I'll get up, I'll post. I'm trying to, now that I'm getting up with the dogs at like 6:15, I'm hopping on Amy's Power Hour. So I do that. And then if I could do that, it makes me feel a little bit better about during the day. Like if I go do something with my kids or whatnot, you know, I think it's important to either stay up later or get up early, put in an hour, and then you're not feeling guilty throughout the day. But plus, you know, I used to do Amy's Power Hour months ago, and that was another shift for me too. Probably in November is when I started doing it. Getting up, because you get your mind right, and you get so pumped up with like, oh, okay, and it just makes you want to work the rest of the day. You know, instead of like, I get up at 9:30 and I sleep in, and then I'm like going to work out, and then it's like noon and I'm trying to work, but then everybody wants to eat something. So getting it in, it just makes you like more intentional and gets all the little tedious things like adding to your network, interacting, things like that. So hop on Amy Spence's Power Hour because it's awesome.
Yeah. I love that. I literally got up for the first time. I did Amy's like a year ago, and then like just being pregnant and having a newborn and stuff, my life got a little bit crazy. But this morning was the first time in a long time that I did a 6:30 power hour, and it is. You're so right. It's like I took my son to Six Flags today, but I wanted to work all day. Like I got so much done in the morning, and then I was just like really excited, and like I feel like, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm an anxious person. So if I like don't work for too long, then I try to like ignore. I'm like, oh, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Cause then I'm like not happy or present where I'm at because I'm overwhelmed and feeling anxious. But if you do all this work in the morning and like get it, going, then you feel so good and confident and excited and you feel like you're on top of your game. And it's just,
Right.
So,
Yeah, you're constantly trying to play catch up with like the entire day. So
absolutely. Okay, so what is your daily non-negotiables? What do you do? Like if you have a 6 list, what is that?
I would say a little bit of personal development. I would say posting, of course. I message, I follow up. And I like to look at my active people. Like when I'm just kind of wanting to send messages, I'll look at who's active on Facebook. And then I'll just kind of go through and it'll remind me like, oh, this person wanted to order. So I'll follow up with them. I'll say, hey, I'm putting a couple orders in today. Did you want me to get yours in? Interacting. I'm trying to be really consistent about doing birthdays. So when you get that notification that like, oh, it's so-and-so plus 10 other people's birthday, I like to send a private message when I say happy birthday to them, just because I think it just means more. And then sometimes they'll even say something about the business and, they're more likely to do it in a private message than on your wall. But yeah, that's probably it. I mean, adding to your network, posting, just being consistent.
Okay. I love that. And okay, I think like one thing that I always do is like just self-reflection of like through the ups and downs of the business, like you learn things. And I know the first time I had like a down in the business, like I felt like I was going to be down forever. And I almost like questioned like, man, was this too good to be true? But then as you've talked about, like I've been in the business for 4.5 years. You've been in the business for, almost 5 years, right?
I'm at 4.5.
Yeah.
Almost 4.5.
Yeah. So, like whenever we think about it like that, it's like now that we've been in for a while, it's like you realize like, okay, I don't have to like panic. Like everything goes in ups and downs. But what have you learned from like your downtimes? Like, what are you going to do different? Like you're in a high right now, right? So what will you do differently this high, like to kind of prepare yourself? Because we know there will be like another, dip at some point.
Right. I mean, I think it just like how last night, like losing rank just yesterday, it was easier for me. Like it wasn't so traumatic like it was before. And I think just just feeding your mind every single day kind of keeps you from going too much into a hole where it's like, yeah, I mean, I do have my days. I have, where I'm like, a couple days a month, depending on my cycle or whatever, that I'm just like, yep, just going to shut it down today because I can't, like everybody's pissing me off and it's not going to go anywhere good. That messages are going to come across bad. Like it's just better to just shut it down, start over tomorrow. But I think if your mind is right, it's easy to get out of it faster. So doing something every day. But yeah, I mean, just giving grace to everything that's happening. And I've been in, business, like with watching my husband, even before this, like I know that there's ups and downs. So it can't always go up. I mean, that's silly. But we'd all like it to at the same time, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, it would be great if we were always on a high, but like, I love that we talk about that it's not always going to be that way. Like, and like I said, like you can still be doing incredible things. Like we've talked about, you can have like your best paycheck at a lower rank. You could have, because we all know cabs and enrolling people is like the key to success. Like if you haven't had a cab run yet and you're a diamond or above, like just wait. Like I'll never forget, like sitting with Lauren Cassimatis, we were at freaking Rosalita's. I'm like 2 margaritas deep. And she tells me like her cab run one time. And she's like, yeah, like I've had like cabs of like 10 grand one month. And I was like, 10 grand just in cabs. And if you guys don't know what that means, it's like enrolling bonuses, like all your, distributors that you enroll and then one of your distributors goes and enrolls like all these people, and they enroll all these people. And literally at that time I was like double diamond or something, and my check at that time was like $2,600 or maybe $3,000. And I'm literally sitting here thinking like, holy crap. And then that July, when we did the $10 for the first time, like I had like the most insane check of my life, as a triple diamond, and my cabs were like 6,000. And I was like, this is what she was talking about. Like, you think it's like never going to happen, you know? And like, I mean, Ashley Ranow, who we're going to hear from next, she just wrote 23,000 in cabs one time. Like, you guys, 1 month, 23,000 in cabs. That's not her paycheck. That's not her commissions. That was her cabs alone. Like, mine was 6,000, and I like peed a little bit, you know, like it's crazy. So, okay. I love that. So good stuff. Thank you so much, Amy. You have been like such an inspiration, like such a good sideline. I appreciate you so much, and you inspire me and my team more than you probably even know. I know that we all like hear that and don't believe it, but I hope you do believe that and know that. So thank you so much for getting on and sharing your time with us tonight too. So
Thanks for having me.
yes. Okay.
And I'll put that host to post in the chat too.
Yes. And any questions you guys have for Amy, put them in the chat and she'll be answering for you. Okay. So Ashley Ranow, you are last but certainly not least. I'm so excited you were able to get on here. You have quite the story and have inspired me. Oh my gosh, like so much. Like it could make me like cry, like think about it. So tell us your story and share your heart with us.
Hey guys. Okay, well, thanks for having me, Lauren. And I was so glad that we got to chat the other night. Just really, I mean, we've spent some time together, but it just, you know, so I guess I'll date it back that I heard about this business 8.5 years ago. I had a newborn baby. I lived in Orlando, Florida. I was a night shift, or I was a cardiac nurse, and I was bartending, trying to like do everything to make ends meet. And somebody asked me through a breastfeeding group that the hospital put on, like we physically went and like drank lactation cookies or drank lactation tea and cookies and like tried to like figure out how we were going to be moms. And so somebody friended me from there and was like, oh my gosh, you should do this business with me. And I was like, you are crazy. You're in a pyramid scheme. I was like the biggest hater. And then a girl I went to high school with started doing it. So I was like getting bombarded with messages from these two girls for 36 months, you guys. 36 months I said no, and I ignored this business. I thought it was like the plague. I thought these people were crazy. I felt sorry for them. But there was like that piece of me that was like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't have a brain cell for this. This doesn't make sense to me. Like that wrap, like you can't just slap on a piece of fabric and it's not going to make you skinny. And I just was a hater. But there was that piece of me that just wondered, like, what if it did work for me? So we ended up moving back to Missouri from Florida, had a baby. Like, it was just, you know, whatever. I ended up going into night shift nursing as a labor and delivery nurse. And, you know, I lost my bartending gig when we moved back to Missouri, which was incredible money. And so we like hit the struggle bus hardcore. But we were this like little picture perfect family on social media. Our highlight reel looked really good. You know, my husband worked for State Farm. I was a nurse. We had a little boy, a little girl. Like it all looked great. But on the inside, we were just financially drowning. I was working 60 hours a week, 5 nights away from my kids, 5 nights not putting my kids to bed, kissing them goodnight, missing every moment. Like Lauren said, Jeremiah and I were literally like high-fiving at the door, and I was watching my son play t-ball through FaceTime. And that was just like the most heartbreaking thing to me. So finally I got started in February of 2014. And I just want you guys to envision, like, say today's your first day. So I got started on the 2nd. So tomorrow's the 2nd. And so that's like we were telling people, like, try not to sign up a distributor till tomorrow because then they get those 4 calendar months. So Lauren was talking about those bonuses. So I started talking to this girl in January, like finally said, like, I think I want to try the greens. She's like, well, I mean, I know you already work a lot. Like, what if you just like got the greens, but got them as a distributor and maybe made a little extra money too? And I was like, okay. And so I signed up on February 2nd, and there was that $10,000 bonus. And I called my best friend and told her I was doing this business. She told me I was crazy. She could not support me and that I was going to fail. And that was like, that's when I realized I was a red, even though I hadn't done personality colors or knew anything about them, is somebody telling me that I was going to fail set this like, screw you. Like, you're my best friend. Like, why would you tell me I'm going to fail at something? And so that just, I literally, you guys went that night on social media and posted that I was going to earn a $10,000 bonus. And I was terrified because I had no idea how I was going to do it. So pretend today you're a brand new distributor. You have zero paycheck within. So I started February 2nd. By the end of February, my paycheck was $336. I went Ruby. The following month, March 2014. So 54 days, I skipped Emerald and went Diamond. My paycheck was $1,920. That didn't include cabs. I had at least 10 distributors each of those months. Then in April 2014, so I had been in like, I think it was 108 days, I went double diamond. No, it was like 87 days or something. I went double diamond. My paycheck was $4,758. And then my fourth month in the business, so May 2014, my paycheck was $10,934. I had earned $50,000 in bonuses. I went from somebody that zero, nothing. I had no paycheck. So maybe you weren't commission qualified last month. Like, do you realize you can change your mindset? Pretend somebody's telling you you're going to fail at this. Like, that's what you're doing in your head. If you're stuck somewhere, it's because you're letting what's in between your ears trip you up. So let me tell you that you can go from right now. Maybe you didn't get a paycheck in June. Maybe you don't have a paycheck coming on the 15th. 4 months from now, you could have a $10,000 paycheck if you change your mindset. And so that was kind of the start of my business. And I knew nothing but like this just mass chaos of like, I was on this stage of momentum. Nobody was stopping me. Nobody was tripping me up. But you guys, like, honestly, I went triple so fast because it was just like, okay, ruby chart, emerald chart, diamond chart, double diamond chart, triple diamond chart. Well, then with presidential, the boxes get so little when we had our old charts that you couldn't write names in them and actually read them. So I just quit charting because that made sense. So I didn't go presidential till the following year once I printed a chart and put names on paper. And then Lauren and I think we went ambassador the same month. And so it was like 25 months or 26 months of 25 months of being in the business. I went ambassador. But you guys, so I went ambassador. That was March 2016. Got that $150,000 bonus Lauren was talking about. And then my enroller started doing, she hadn't really done much with my team because I passed her and it became this like competition thing. But then my enroller started like randomly saying she wanted to help me and started doing Zooms with my team, just certain legs. And then she left the company in September and took half of my team with her. So it was just to like kind of get cozy with them and build some, trust with them. And then she took my team. So I lost ambassador in September, lost that bonus. And then I went into this like major funk and thought like these people, like some of them were my friends, like these people, like I thought that they were going to be with me forever. I thought that like nothing could take me down, and it just totally knocked my feet out from underneath me. And so, things went on. I continued to, like, you would never have known through social media, but I got into this like funk of what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? When really, you guys, this is one thing that I've had to realize in corporate America. When I worked as a nurse, when I worked as a bartender, like we didn't think twice when somebody quit or found a different job. But here we take it so personal because we're in people's personal lives. You let them into your personal lives. So in corporate America, people are coming and going every day and you're not offended by it. But here it's easier to get offended because it feels more personal and it feels more offensive. You guys, you gotta let that go. And I told Lauren, so, I continued to have like my up and down like struggles over the years. I held on to presidential, so I lost ambassador. I will tell you, I lost ambassador September 2016, and I have yet to re-maintain ambassador. I thought like it's not going to last. Like, I'll get back there eventually. And eventually I will. It's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. So then I went like an entire year of maintaining presidential. And then I lost presidential. Gosh, I don't remember, like October 2017 maybe. And you guys, in December of 2018, I was like 1,000 BV from losing triple. And I went, if you remember back, I told you in those like 4 months, I went triple diamond in my first 4 months in the business. So here I was sitting, you know, almost 5 years later, and I was going to lose the rank that I got whenever I was 4 months in the business. Like, so many times I could have let myself take myself out of the game, but I want to read something to you guys so the other day they posted, I'm trying not to tell you too much because if I just read it to you, it'll make more sense. So I shared with my team the other day, they posted the top 200 income earners the other day. And so through me reading this to you, you'll hear where I was throughout it. But it was on a triple diamond and above page that this was posted. And I was number 70. But I just knew that there were people that were probably reading through people like celebrating and being excited. And it's exciting to have that like sense of competition, but yet like sometimes people have competition with each other. Sometimes people get excited because they're competing with themselves and they're like, that's how they're measuring, like if they're growing or, you know, whatever. And so I just like I used to be like a really super red personality, but when that happened to me in 2016 and I lost a lot of my team, it brought out a lot of yellow in me. And so I instantly, even though I was celebrating that my number since conference in February had actually jumped 34 spots from 104 to 70, I was actually like, kind of like, I need to speak to these people that are like, this is hurting. And so this is what I sent to my team. So it will kind of speak to some of you guys more that aren't triple diamond and above. And so I said, hey guys, so I've been debating whether or not to share this with you all because it might be a little too much, but honestly, at the end of the day, I want you all to know how much I appreciate you. You each have taken on this business because you have big dreams, or maybe like I was when I started this business and are just trying to find a way to keep your head above water. This business is not always going to be easy, but holy cow, if you power through with the mindset that it will change your life because you are capable of anything, even when there are days, weeks, and months that you question it, you will hit a breakthrough. Sometimes those breakthroughs will set you on the highest of highs, but in life, you are going to have setbacks. You are going to have life happen. It's not a matter of if life will happen to you, it's a matter of when. But that is one thing I love about this business. We are all here to encourage and lift each other up. And in most cases, the world wants to celebrate with you when you're down and wallow in the pity because they will accept where they are easier. I am 110% here to tell you, life is hard no matter what you do, but the fact that you get to be surrounded here by people who are going to encourage you to become the best version of yourself is my favorite. Okay, so I tell you all of this to tell you that the top 200 leaders in the company's numbers were given to us today. We have a triple diamond and above page with all triples and above on it. People were celebrating their numbers, and I had to speak up for those that I knew were hurting or felt unworthy or not good enough. Like I said, I thought a lot about sharing this message here because I thought it's a lot to take in, but I wanted you to know, as your leader, I have your back, I believe in you, and I see your potential even when you question it. So this is what I posted on the triple diamond page. I want to be really transparent here because numbers are amazing and can be hard all at the same time. You can feel on top of the mountain and then feel like your feet have been knocked out from underneath you all at the same time. This business is about consistency and grit and take quitting off the table no matter what rank. My first year in the business, by my fourth month, I was triple diamond with over $100,000 in 2014. In 2015, I went to my first dash as a brand new presidential diamond. I think I was number 54 that year. In 2016, I went ambassador and was on top of the world. Between mine, my husband's accounts, we just missed a $50,000 paycheck. That year, I was number 42, even after half of my team had abandoned me for Nerium. Is that still even a thing? And I lost ambassador that year in October, I believe. In 2017, I was number 70 and felt awful. I was 70 something. I felt awful, honestly, about life, everything in my life. It was definitely the hardest time in my business. I felt worthless. In 2018, I was 104. First time I had dropped out of top 100 in my entire business. Honestly, that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. I quit seeing myself as a number. Don't get me wrong, I love numbers because I love to see where I'm at compared to me, not compared to you or you or you. I will tell you that since October 2016, I haven't maintained ambassador or came even remotely close to it. I lost presidential in 2017, and guess what? I claimed it back for 2 months this year. And this was on like the almost last day of the month. I said, today I'm pushing to get back to presidential this month, but I'm 27,000 away. Doable, yes, but y'all, this is a journey. You are writing your story, and guess what? God's holding the pen. I'm living out my Jeremiah 29:11 story. There is nowhere else I would want to be, and I'm thankful for the ups and downs because I can relate to my team, but I can also share this with you all. So here's to number 70 today and the climb back to the top with some amazing women that are on this page that have been here with me from the start. Like Cindy says, pray them in and pray them out. Proud of everyone that has the grit and heart to be here. You're the real MVP. And so you guys, like I tell you all of that because I want you guys to see, like it's all about a journey, but I'm maintaining triple diamond. I've been ambassador. I've had $500,000 in volume. Last month I ended with 78,000 in volume, and I was number 70, like in the company. So it's, I looked back to, because I told you guys those numbers from 2014. So in December 2018, when I almost, like so close, almost missed, and I have 3 accounts because I have my second ambassador account and my husband's account too. But December 2018, my paycheck on my original account was $6,968. So $3,000 less than it was in 2014. By March of 2019, so 3 months, I gave myself I gave myself you can't sit in the pit anymore. Like, get up. Get out. You can't stay there. That's one thing. My pastor did this huge sermon series on mind monsters, and it was so amazing. But we're all going to fall into pits, but you got to make the choice that you're going to stand up and get out. Otherwise, you're going to stay wherever you're at. I have a postcard or a Post-it note on my computer right here that says, if you don't know where you're going next, there is no next. And so you've got to make the decision of what you're going for next. If you don't know what your next is, then you're already there. And so I went in 3 months and got a $12,000 raise because I decided I was sick of sitting where I was at. So, it just shows, like I did it in 2014. I gave myself an $11,000 raise in 4 months. And then I turned around again in 2019 and gave myself a $12,000 raise because I decided I wasn't going to sit there anymore. And so, I have another, this is what I do when I get on Zooms and somebody says something that's like an aha moment for me. I have Post-it notes everywhere. So I just have this whole thing here, and I have another one that says, I understand what the bottom feels like, and that's what makes me appreciate the top. And so I write things and just kind of post them everywhere because I know I need that self-development. And so honestly, the self-development that changed me, I think the most is I grew up in church, but I grew up in just a very, just a Baptist church that was very rigid and whatever. So I fell in love with Stephen Furtick, and I just started listening to him over and over and over again. And I went to the beach the other day. My son had surf lessons because that's what happens when you move to Florida, and that's what your kids do for summer camp is take surf camp. But I have a bag that has a book in it with a highlighter. I'm the type of person that I have to, I can't listen to podcasts. I don't get anything out of them because I want to. I wish I did, but I'm so ADD that I'm all over the place. So Amy told me about Trent Shelton, which I think Lauren heard him speak at Rachel Hollis. And so I got this book, The Greatest You. And he was just talking about his life struggles and what he went through and what he thought he thought his dream was, but he wasn't tapping into who he was made to be. And so like I have to go through and highlight things. And so I've really had to make a conscious effort to, I feel like when my business really started to turn around, Amy Gamlin talked about it too, is Amy Spence and I run. We have a really strange story. I delivered her baby like 3 years prior to this business. And then we didn't know the other person was joining, and we joined on the exact same day under 2 separate teams. And then we ended up running our business, like we run a team page together and everything. So Amy was like, you have to do power hours with me. So we started doing 6 a.m. power hours. I'm not a morning person. That power hours changed my life, and they changed my business. I mean, they truly did, because it was intentional focus. That's what somebody said to me yesterday. I was like, girl, you didn't get commission like I said, like, you got to get commission qualified before midnight tonight. And then she wrote me back today, and she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. I thought today was the last day of the month. And I'm like, well, that's because you haven't been tapped in. And so if you're not giving, you've got to give a little bit of yourself every single day. But also, you don't need to work this business 12, 14, 6 hours a day. Give yourself an hour of consistent time. I used to spend so much time, especially when I was in those funks of just scrolling Facebook. And I'm like, I'm working. I worked for 10 hours today. No, you didn't. You scrolled Facebook. And so that's where power hours are huge. And having those 6 lifts that are non-negotiable, you've got to add to your network. You've got to message people. You've got to post. You've got to use the products. You guys, the times that I've watched my business fall, it's been because I haven't been using the products. And thank God for keto coffee, because like I don't think I can function a day without it. But what I love is Host to Post, because with Host to Post, you're knocking out those things. You're posting. Somebody's knocking on my door. I don't know. Jeremiah, somebody's trying to open the office door. My husband's in the house. Might get robbed right here with you guys on the.
Oh my
okay.
God. What's your address?
I'm kind of nervous. But hopefully my 8-year-old and 5-year-old are not outside in the dark. Okay, so anyways, with Host to Post, you are posting, you're adding to your network, you're the people that are commenting and you're engaging with, like you're messaging them, like you're knocking out those things. And so with Host to Post, I try to, some people will do like some hair, skin, and nails, and some keto coffee, and some Thermophyte X. I can't do that. Like I said, I'm ADD and all over the place. So I stick with one, like I try to stick with one Host to Post. So I got 28 Host to Post up today, and I did every single one of them was cleanse. And then I use WordBoard because for a while, text replacement quit working. And so WordBoard is what I use on iPhone. And it's so simple. So I literally have a cleanse Host to Post folder, and I can just click, 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 click. And I signed a customer today just from one of those Host to Posts, and I'm going to sign a ton more from them. But Host to Posts are really what has been a game changer for me. But making myself, it's so easy. I feel like if you've tried Host to Post, you're like, oh, they don't work for me. You've got to be consistent with them. But also, like, that's why I like to do them in the morning at 6 a.m. I like to get myself focused, get myself organized. And then if like Lauren said about being anxious, if I feel overwhelmed, then I just shut down. I freak out and I just kind of shut down. And so Host to Post can get that way for me if I'm not in the right mindset. So I, would love to say that I try to get up 10 a day, but it's more like I probably try to get up 10 to 20 a week. Today I just had a ton of response, and so I went with it. But Host to Post, really has been a big game changer for me. I don't know if I kind of went all over the place.
No, because that answered like so many good questions and like so many things that I wanted you to cover. Like obviously like sitting here like holding back tears as you read your journey, and that like talks about like just the change, like how much things can change so quickly. And like there's a theme here. It's mindset. It's
100%.
Like, and I think like I'm with you, like numbers drive me, but numbers, like literally I was at a dinner on Friday And I've been in the top 150 the last 2 years, and they announced numbers, and I literally was like, it's not even top 150. I was so happy when I heard it was top 200 because I was like, oh, sweet, I'll definitely be something. And I literally was like refreshing my email and like looking at my junk mail, and I'm like, maybe they sent it to my other email. Like, it's like, and I'm not in the top 200. And it's like, it's crazy because you literally like, you sit there and it's not about like what money you're making or what, it's literally like a number. It's like feeling like you're disposable or you're not good enough, or can you get back, or what are people thinking? Like, you really overthink it. Are people looking at my profile to see if I announced if I'm in the top 150? What does my team think about me? Do they think we're not a successful team anymore? Like, there's so many like negative thoughts that come in. And I loved what you shared because like, as I'm sitting at this dinner, I literally was like having like this horrible feeling come over me. And like, I've always been the type of person who's happy for other people, but you can be like insanely happy for other people and really disappointed about your own situation at the same time. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's not about being in competition with other people. It's about yourself and like just pace setting, you know, like nobody wants to go backwards. But there are ups and downs in the business. And that's why this kind of sparked this. I wanted to do this Zoom because I wanted to talk about how much can change in 6 months. Cause I know if I'm feeling that way, there's a million other people that feel the same exact way. And maybe it's not even like numbers, right? It can be somebody like Ruby that just wants to be diamond or whatever.
And I think too, like, Lauren said it earlier, like this kind of stuff didn't used to be talked about. And so, you know, I'm so glad that we started talking about like struggles because it's real life. Like there's going to be struggles, whether you're a distributor, you're going to have a hater, you're going to have somebody be mean, you're going to have a setback, you're going to have life. Like it doesn't, like I said, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen to you, it's just when. And, you know, I had something, I mean, hopefully she doesn't care that I share this, but I had a girl on my team that has literally been in this business for 3 years. I don't know if she's on here, so I'm not going to call her by name, but she's been in this business for 3 years. All of her leaders have quit except for me and my presidential Joanna, can I share your voice message? She's on here. Because it made me sob to listen to her the other night. You guys, she just went Ruby. She was a distributor for 3 years. And then this month or this year in 2019, she went executive and she just went Ruby. And I just want you guys to hear the magnitude that you can have on somebody's life. And Joanna's one of my she's one of my yellows, and she just has a heart of gold, and she is one of the best leaders on my team. And I look at her as one of like my top leaders because of the way that she helps people. But you guys, she just went Ruby after 3 years. And some of you might be sitting here, 60 days thinking like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not good at this. But listen to this message. Can you guys hear it?
Seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you and everyone else so much, but because of people like you and beyond, you're really making dreams happen. And I cannot tell you how much it means to me for you and others to be doing stuff like the Push Group and the Success Club and so on and so forth, to be there by us and support us through it all. Honestly, after a long time being in for 3 years, I really started wondering if it was too late for me because it's been so long. Because everyone else always went so fast, but I knew that wasn't the case for me. So thank you from my heart. So I stopped believing myself for a really long time. So thank you for welcoming back with
hold on.
For being there, for supporting and loving and just everything. I hope you can understand all this. But seriously, thank you. You're amazing. And I don't even have words for it. You're so incredible. And you're such an inspiration to me and so many others. And it's because of your story and others. That's really been the biggest part that's helped push me on. The love, the prayers, the support, the encouragement, the teaching of self-development and getting your mind in the right place and how important those things are. Thank you. Seriously. So much. See you in Florida.
So you guys, like, she even said it there, like, self-development. If it wasn't for the self-development and having somebody else believe, sorry, it was so choppy, but having somebody else believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And, you know, whenever I talked to Lauren the other night, like, it was like I had to reinstill that belief, like, you guys have an incredible leader. She's amazing. And she teaches me about Instagram. Like, I messaged her, I was like, how the heck did you make that fast video? You didn't make your keto coffee that fast. Teach me your ways. And so you guys, like, there's going to be times, but you got to stop trying to sit down and put yourself in a closet and have a pity party. Stand up, ask for help, ask for somebody, you know, to give you some advice. Go find somebody that inspires you, and dang it, quit sitting still. Like, that's not why you came here. And, you know, for me, it was just a matter of figuring out, you know, whenever we started, we were just so bad in debt that we didn't even know how much debt we had because we didn't want to know because it was terrifying. And so when I started this business, we sat down and we added up every piece of debt we had. And that's what drove me to go after that $10,000 paycheck, because I thought, gosh, if I can just get an extra $500 a month, that's an extra $500 we can throw towards student loans. And maybe eventually I'll get to be the mom in the bleachers instead of the mom on FaceTime. And so then I remember standing after we moved to Florida last year, pacing the parking lot, talking to Pam Sauter one day, because I was just like, I need to talk to somebody. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm dreaming for. I don't know what I'm working for. We've paid off our debt. Like, I don't have dreams. And so she told me, you know, if you're maybe to the point where you're like, I don't even know what to dream for, or I don't have a dream board, I've never had one, I don't know why I'm doing this, Pam told me to start to think about things I didn't want. And so, like, for me as a nurse, I didn't want to have to work night shift anymore. I didn't want to be mandated to work Christmas. I didn't want to be the mom watching my kid play t-ball through FaceTime. So, you know, what are some things that in your life right now that you wish you could just kick them to the curb and get rid of them? So you guys, you've just got to figure out what it is, why you're doing this, and then take quitting off the table and know that it's inevitable. You're going to have ups and downs, and you're just going to have to roll with it. That's life. Life is going to do that to you, whether you're at a corporate America job. People are getting laid off left and right from corporate America jobs. So it's just, honestly, get out of your own head and get focused, get some positivity, get, you know, that positive inspiration. And if you've got people around you that are in your circle that are bringing you down, like, you don't have to block them or delete them, but, you know, start putting up some boundaries with those people. And just, you know, if it's people on your team, then just set some boundaries. You don't have to listen to it. Like, it's okay. Pam said she gives people 60 seconds for 60 seconds of a BMW. You've got 60 seconds to bitch, moan, and whine, and then you got to figure out a plan to move on. What are you going to do to change it? And so I think so often it's easy to get with negative people. We did it when I was a nurse, and we would just gripe and complain about how much we hated our jobs. So if you get with somebody in here that's griping and complaining about bonuses, there's not a $10,000 big deal. It's a bonus. Go out and get a $10,000 paycheck. So I don't know. That's my soapbox.
I could literally just listen like all night, like just keep going with the goodness. No, it's like amazing. It really is. And so many good nuggets there. So much stuff with like mindset, as we've said like 1,000 freaking times. I swear, if you're like me and Amy Gamlin, like get off this and go freaking do personal development, something that we've given like a million things that you could do. You could find something, you know? And so just definitely like, you know, listen, like hear that. You came to this Zoom for a reason. I always say like, you're on here for a reason. So take something away from it. So thank you so much, Ashley, for that. And you guys, just so you know, like, I want to point this out, like, none of these girls have anything to do with my business, like at all. Like, they're not above me. They're not below me. I've made connections with them from either meeting them at events or like asking them questions and putting myself out there and not being afraid. Ashley has, you know, well, not just Ashley, but like we've all talked and they've asked me questions too. And like, that's what you have to find in this business. Both Ashley and I's sponsors quit. Like, we don't have sponsors that check on us. We don't have people that ask us, like, how are you doing? How's your chart? Like, you know, God forbid if we weren't commission qualified, I don't know if anybody would tell me, you know? So like, it's just one of those things, like, find people that are sidelines, because that is such a great, powerful thing in this business. Make sure you protect who that sideline is, because I've also had sidelines who were very negative and took me in a different path, and you have to protect your energy and your space. And so I always say, like, you'll find like what you're looking for. So if you want somebody who's going to bitch, moan, and whine with you, like, that's what you're going to find. And if you find somebody who's going to, that you want to have a more positive outlook on this business, like, you'll find that too. So anyways, on that note, I just appreciate you guys so much. This is such a long Zoom, but I just didn't want to cut it off at an hour with such good 3 people is pouring into us such goodness. So thank you guys more than you could ever know for pouring into our team tonight. It means the world to me, and I'm forever grateful. So thank you guys. Have a great night, and let's go kill it the last half of the year.
Woo woo. Night.
Good night, you guys. Bye.